Hello everyone, welcome back to the Taiko World Cup 2023. We are here for the very last match of this exciting weekend. We have the United Kingdom versus Chile, and I'm very excited about this match too. I think evenly matched teams, I think we'll see a great fight. And to join us for the commentary of this amazing match, I have the UK citizen, Teasel. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to see the wrapping up of the round of 16 and, the future map pool, but we'll focus on this just now. Pretty good teams. UK has consistently done pretty good in the World Cup the last couple of years. Chile is a country that's kind of been a wee bit back and forth, and they've put together an incredibly strong team this year, 3 of their players being top 50 global. So I'm really interested to see what the outcome of this match will be, because being completely truthful, I'm not sure what it will be.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would have trouble deciding how this is going to go. It looks like the UK has already started things off, though. It looks like we've got bans, I think, out of the way. Hidden 1 for Chile, free mod 3 for the United Kingdom. Shocker, we have another slow hidden ban. Very common. It's interesting to see the free mod 3 ban, though. The UK does have a lot of very strong mod players, I feel like, so that's interesting to me.
Yeah, the UK is kind of surprisingly a fairly well-rounded country with the team that they've put together this year. But so is Chile. That's what makes this match so exciting.
Well, hey, if anything, we can end this weekend with a bang. So hopefully we get some hype from this. UK going straight to no mod 2, which is mapped by some random I've never heard of.
Yeah, literally who.
So we're starting off with the no mod tech map. Some people have noticed that it's an interesting map, I think, because when we talked about this in the pooling side of things, Curiosity is harder than last week's tech, but in a different way than last week's tech was hard. So it's kind of interesting to see how things go in regards to this pick specifically, because it's harder, but in a different way. And iNeon is kind of realizing that as the person with the lowest accuracy so far, but I mean, everyone is holding strong so far.
Yeah, we still have 2 double S's remaining, Gohiki and Ulki, as expected, the 2 respective carries for their country. And everyone else is, holding on pretty strongly as well. The main difference is just iNeon's accuracy just being very slightly below everyone else's. But with a score lead of, 10,000 points, if that, for the UK, a single miss can switch it back over to Chile.
Yeah, these teams are only about 10 to 15,000 points away from each other. The accuracy difference really coming from iNeon. Oakway holding double S, Gohiki holding double S, but there's not much map left to go.
Yeah, just a quarter left to go. They just need to keep maintaining their full combos, their accuracy as well, and that'll be it. And yeah, this is a really important point for the UK. You really don't want to be losing your first pick, because that guarantees that you're going to have to find a break point yourself at some point during the match. So Chile can just keep holding on and wait for the UK to make a mistake. They can swoop the victory out for themselves. But at the end of the map, the UK does win by not very much at all.
Yeah, about 21,000 points. Everyone FCing this map, however. The biggest difference in accuracy comes from iNeon. The only person in the 98% is Gohiki double S, and the other 2 British players over 99.5. Same can be said for Chile's Oakway and Necromancy, but iNeon, although a fantastic play on a map like this that is very difficult to act, it's low relative to these other players.
But yeah, not too much to worry for Chile. That was the UK's first pick, and what you would predict to be the most strongest as well. So it's Chile's time to pick now, and they're going with Hidden 2. what they feel is their best shot for a win against the UK.
Well, this is a pivotal pick because this really sets the tone for the rest of the match. Does Chile have maps where they feel confident enough and can actually execute that confidence in responding so that they don't have a breakpoint right off the bat? Dusk, I definitely knew was going to be here. Gohiki, although a well-known Hard Rock player, definitely has learned Hidden at this point. This is dare I say, one of the most pivotal picks of the match for Chile. It's just going to set the tone for everything that comes after this.
Yeah, taking a look at last week's results, the UK didn't play Hidden Tooth, but Chile did and achieved 3rd place out of the 10 teams that did play it. So that's a pretty strong result. 2 of those plays were full combos, and the remaining one being a very, very high accuracy, low misplay. So the UK have got quite a strong roster against them.
Oakley and Dusk, well-known Hidden players in the taiko community. Gohiki, as we all know, is just kind of a god. So
yeah, in his infancy, Daniel was much more of a hard rock player, but he's also pretty well known as a convert player, and to, you know, try get those first places, he has learned Hidden through playing them on converts. So, you know, the high SV style Hidden is not too difficult for him at all.
the biggest difference in score coming between Daniels and GS Muka. We saw a lot of flickering just now, but it looks like it stabilized a little bit for the UK as Dusk and Gohiki both are holding. They were holding double S's. Gohiki dropping his.
Yeah, the scores aren't flickering between the two teams. The accuracies are just completely on par and no one missing. Yeah, even on those mono Ks, no one dropping.
Muka has the edge on Daniels in accuracy by, I think, 1/100. Necromancy has an edge on Gohiki. Oakley drops his double S though, so Dusk is the only double S left in the lobby. The score difference between these two teams is extremely close as we head into the last quarter of the map. A small break.
Dusk dropping the double S, but, you know, by only 1/100. Daniel being the first player to pick up some misses around the slow section before the final KI. Things are looking really great for Chile to be able to secure their first point, but they have to find no mistakes themselves.
Necromancy finding a miss now too. Muka finding a miss too.
They only have one full combo left. Dusk, they're trading it. The score is going to stay where it is.
We have one more stream left here. Daniel's the only one missing there. Chile responding to UK's pick with a point of their own. Definitely not. That's so. I mean, this is so important for the Chilean team because, if anything, what this point represents to them is that they do have a chance against this team. And I don't think that either of these teams, as we've said before, which is why this is so exciting, I don't think either of these teams really have a clear advantage against each other. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes, but it at least ensures Chile that I can fight through this and we could actually win this.
Yeah, for sure. UK opting to go with Hard Rock 2 now makes a lot of sense. Of course, Gohiki being a very well-known, very strong Hard Rock player. Over to Hedge 2014, also very known for being a Hard Rock player. And Horizon is a player that also plays converts, so high SV is not, and OD is not something that phases him. For Chile, it looks like we have Shiny Froakie coming in as well as their third player, maintaining Ulki and Muka as their main two.
Yeah, Shiny does have a repertoire of being good at hidden, or hard rock rather. But the GS Muka does surprise me a little bit because, at least as far as what we know about them as a player, hidden is their repertoire, not hard rock. So that does worry me a little bit for Chile's chances in this. But of course, just because you don't achieve hard rock scores doesn't mean you can't play hard rock.
Yeah, Muka is, of course, a Mania player, and, you know, accuracy and the speed and just the reading in general, it should hopefully transfer over to the Hard Rock just fine. Yeah, I feel somewhat too afraid to say anything about either of these teams and their performance, because I'm just too afraid of the commentator person. Especially when each map has been so close.
It seriously is something tough to battle. I mean, I'm gonna take the risk and say the UK right now is holding 3 double S's.
Yeah, and Chile not too far behind. They have 1 double S and two players are very close. But Muka being the first player to pick up the misses, giving the UK an even stronger lead.
Oh, Gohigi's gonna trade it though. The biggest difference though between Gohigi and Muka is Muka's misses put him down 97%. Gohigi's still at 99.
Yeah, the UK really can't afford to pick up any more mistakes though, otherwise Chile can come in and take the lead once again. Yeah, coming into the slow section, Horizon, Over the Head, Shiny Froakie, and Ulki still on very, very high accuracy full combos. So it's really coming down to them. But Gohigi and Muka have now pretty much recovered up to the maximum score cap.
Oh.
Muka picking up the miss again, resetting that. This is pretty much the UK's point to lose now.
Shiny Froakie and Oakui doing absolutely phenomenal in this pick and matching Horizon and Gohigi. The thing is, it's just, you know, Gohigi and Muka are the only two people to have broke. And Gohigi just has such a high accuracy advantage that as we head into the end of the map, that's really how much accuracy matters in Score V2 on for Taiko.
Yeah, UK coming out on top, doing really well in their own pick. Yeah, look at those accuracies across everyone. 6 100s for FC from Horizon, 2 100 from Over the Hedge, 1 100 from Ulki, just shy of that double S, 5 100 from Shiny Froakie full combo. So these maps are at kind of like a range where I'm probably afraid to say too easy for these players, because that's probably not the case. They'll have been putting in a lot of practice, but at a level where every player is quite comfortable on them and able to perform to their absolute best. And that's what's helping keep everything so close between the two of them.
Yeah, and I think the closest between these two teams is gonna really factor into when and if they pick no mods, like Chile has picked no mod 1. I think this is gonna most likely end up being one of the closest points we've seen, because theoretically, according to the textbook of Taiko, even though that doesn't exist, but the textbook, so to speak, both of these teams should be able to not only FC this, but get really, really high AC. I feel like this is, I want to say it's a risky pick on Chile's part, because it comes down to depending on the UK to find a miss or to find more accuracy drops than you do. Because, like I said, on the paper, this is it. No mod is where we see these two teams almost perfectly even.
Yeah. For myself, I have played through the pool, and it was all sight reading. I got a 5 100 full combo on no mod 1, and I'm not even a player good enough to be on the UK team. So, thinking about how much better these players are than my general performances in a tournament setting, I'm expecting near SSs from every single player.
The thing is, you know, we always talk about the theory and what's on paper, but, you know, especially as someone that talks to the United States players all the time, I'm sure you know this too, as someone that talks to the United Kingdom players, one of the biggest factors in any of these tournament matches is the nerves of everyone seeing exactly what you're doing. as in that there's people in the community that are rooting for you, and you don't want to like let them down. It's really pressuring, and that plays a factor into all of this. Chile and United Kingdom have some of the most well-known people in the taiko community, so the pressure is on, quite frankly.
Yeah, that is a really good point. But similarly, both teams are facing that same pressure, so you could consider it kind of cancelled out, but all it takes is for one player to pick up a miss, especially on these 1-6 patterns in the middle of these streams, and that could spell the end for the map.
So far, the UK has the advantage.
Yeah.
Very small advantage.
Yeah, still just down to accuracy. 2 double S's to 1. 1 double S to 1.
It's gonna come down to the last Ki. That is the Ki with the most 1-4-1-6 pattern. Definitely the most technical of the whole map.
Yeah, the important thing to note here as well is the UK is currently in the lead on Chile's pick. If the UK manages to steal this away from Chile, that's the first breakpoint in the match, and a really important one at that. This would be very difficult for Chile to recover from a breakpoint, I feel. But everyone's still holding on. Yeah, this is the outro. There's no more intense parts left. So the UK, I believe, have successfully achieved a breakpoint against Chile.
A very close one.
That is the risk with these kind of maps.
13,000 points.
Chile's total score is very, very good. But the UK's is just slightly better in the accuracy, and there was nothing Chile could do about it.
Yeah, you look at the stream right now and you see 6 people who FC'd. It comes down to, as I suspected, who picks up more 100s, and the Chilean team picked up more 100s than both Over the Hedge and their third player, who I've already forgotten, unfortunately.
Yeah, also quickly, Gohiki and Ulki both achieved a double S play on No Mod 1, which, quite nice in the sense of they're the two sort of team captains, the main carries of their teams, so seeing them be the ones that are at the top it kind of shows that things are somewhat going as expected. But I guess somewhat slightly unexpectedly, Howling Moon has been picked. DT1.
Now, actually, this is a pick that surprises me from the theory, because the 3 Chilean players that are playing this map have extensive experience with double time. So this could honestly be a risky pick for the UK. If they do lose this map, Chile will be in the driver's seat for their 3rd point to tie things up. But I would expect that for the UK to pick this, they are very confident in their ability to play this map, and it is really difficult to act. That is something that we found very common in the test players when we were running this back before we debuted the pool, and it's something that has been confirmed now that players are actually playing this against other teams. This is notoriously difficult to accuracy. Looks like we had a few technical difficulties though, but we'll get that settled, and we're gonna head right into it.
Yeah, taking a look from last week at Double Time 1, the UK did actually play and got the 3rd place overall score out of 18 teams. So they've clearly proved that out of everyone here, in the World Cup in general, they are potentially one of the best teams for this style of map. But we didn't see Chile play it, and they could perhaps be slightly better. They are especially looking to hopefully take back their breakpoint. They really don't want the UK getting to the match point, a 4-1 situation.
Early accuracy lead goes to Chile. iNeon already down to 97, but Dusk lower than iNeon. That's what's really giving Chile the advantage right now. 2 minutes and 48 seconds. There's a lot of map here. And the ending is really where we're going to see how this really goes.
Things are flickering though. Necromancy has dropped down below 99 and Alki's lost double S, while Gohigi and Over the Hedge have maintained their accuracies, giving the UK the slight advantage now. And if we take a look at both Dusk and iNeon, they're both rising up in their accuracies quite nicely. I wonder if anyone's feeling a bit tired yet. This map is pretty full on.
It is
very demanding in the accuracy department. So there's not too much room for error, especially when, once again, the map is really, really close.
Yeah, this map is very demanding, like you said, in Dusk. Dusk's accuracy is pretty low. iNeon and Over the Hedge trading misses right now. But that still gives UK the accuracy advantage, because before those misses, Dusk and iNeon were the only people who are really struggling with accuracy underneath 99%. And that still is what's happening right now. But we're already reaching the end of the map.
Yeah, the UK just needs to continue holding strong in order to win their pick. But for Chile, we're going to need to see a drop or two from the UK. It is entirely possible though. There's still some really tricky pattern coming up, but we need to see the misses before it's too late.
Oh, right, we got a miss.
There's the misses.
Chile needed that, but it did not come with an act drop. It might not matter.
But the map gets tougher and tougher. Chile still holding on really, really well.
Woo!
Ooh.
That miss from Over the Hedge at the end won't matter, because the other UK players will hold on just as well.
And there's a 15,000 point difference between the two teams there. Once again, another incredibly close outcome. And that was probably quite nerve-wracking, especially for Over the Hedge, who knew that he'd missed 2 separate occasions, potentially thinking the map was all over after that.
Yeah, this is probably one of the closest matches of the weekend besides Poland versus Switzerland. I mean, we look at Over the Hedge with 99. Honestly, unfortunately for Chile, if iNeon's accuracy was just a little bit higher, that miss from Over the Hedge really would have put Chile over the top, and they would have won the pick.
Yeah, Gohiki actually getting an incredibly good score of a 2-100 full combo. 1,117,800. So, just shy of perfection, really. But here we go. The questionable map of the pool. The one that no one really likes, but has still been picked quite often, surprisingly. It's
And, you know,
2.
I think that's something interesting for me to be in the commentary booth on, being the person that, like, was the mastermind, quote-unquote, of Blast Plus. You know, I got a lot of pretty negative feedback about FM2, and I understood it because, I mean, and I'm sure I've said this on stream before, when I actually was testing this myself, I didn't have that much of a problem with it on Hidden, so I was like, well, clearly since I'm 1700 rank, these people won't. But the problem, as many Hard Rock players have told me, is the ending of this map apparently with Hard Rock is pretty close to just pure memorization.
Yeah, the SV is just a wee bit too high.
Yeah, so but regardless of that, it's been so interesting for this map to be almost unanimously hated, but it's also one of the most played maps of the weekend.
Yeah, I think the idea behind the players picking it is just kind of hoping that they've practiced it enough that the other team just can't quite keep up with it.
I mean, that's very highly likely. One of the things that I like to do and this will be beneficial for players to hear because I'm going to be pulling for at least another year. I like to change to make picks intentionally something that they should ban, and that was actually my intention with Blast Plus. I didn't think it was as hard as it is, but I wanted them to ban something other than Hidden 1. And yet, somehow, Hidden 1 was still one of the most banned picks of the weekend. I just don't understand.
It just comes with the label, honestly. Like, a good example of that was Jai's One Key event, or Joke, the One Key Mania tournament, where in the first edition, stream maps had their own category away from Rice, and the stream maps saw a lot of bans. But in the second edition of the tournament, there was no stream category, it was just lumped in with Rice, and the stream maps got banned way less. So there's something about the labels of it itself. The label of Hidden 1, the slow hidden, that just really puts people off. Like, people just think about it and they just don't want to be a part of it.
Well, clearly that's the case. We have phenomenal performances thus far on Free Mod 2. No one breaking their full combo yet. Gohiki, the only hidden hard rock in the lobby. Everyone opting for only one map, one mod. No one opting for no mod.
These are the first misses from Esco side on the side of Chile with the hidden. Yeah, UK has that slight mod advantage, but also the possibility that they have over-modded. So far it's going well, but with all of their players on a hard rock, the ending is really where it's going to matter.
That's true. The Chilean team has opted for the majority of hidden, whereas the UK team has opted for hard rock. And given how difficult the end of this map is with hard rock, honestly, I don't think anything is going to be settled until we see the final score count.
Alright, another combo reset from Esco side. Yeah, this map isn't totally free on hidden either, but here it is, the beginning of the speed up.
Ooh, we may see a drop from the UK's highest score multiplier. Gohiki dropping over to Hedge and Horizon, still holding strong though.
Necromancy also dropping with the hard rock.
And he drops again. Gohiki drops again too. That was actually a pretty nasty miss on Gohiki, but Necromancy is still missing. Over to Hedge with misses now.
Yeah, continuing to miss. It's all on Horizon there, really.
Ooh. If the map was a little bit longer, I think Chile would have been able to take the advantage there. But at the end, regardless of that Oakley with the hidden S, United Kingdom holding strong. Their early performance was too strong to fend off their misses at the end. So the UK is prosperous here.
Yeah, ended up being a bit of a quicker match than I expected.
Agreed.
But as we saw, the vast majority of those maps were very, very close and could honestly have gone either way. So it does mean that Chile is going to be dropping down into the losers bracket, but a very, very strong team in that losers bracket. So I think they're going to be making it quite far. And that does mean that the UK will be advancing on through the winners bracket though, and they will be facing the United States next weekend. The two united countries, head to head, which one is stronger, we'll find out.
That is going to be really exciting to watch. I think, and what's even more funny is that currently in the commentator booth we have a United States fan and a UK fan. And,
I hate you.
Personally, I feel like you guys are going to be in for a world of hurt next week because I think that we're stronger. So
Big talk.
I hope you get ready to take the L next week because that's probably what's going to happen.
Alright, get us in the caster booth, both of us, for that match. Make it happen.
Yes, you and I both need to be here for the UK-US match. This is going to happen, and if I'm wrong, then I'll even admit it. I'll say, you know what, Teasel? I'm sorry, and clearly you guys are superior to the United States. And I promise you, I will say those words on stream.
Well, you know, you just did. I can just clip it and take it out of context.
Yeah, that's true, but that would be kind of toxic.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
Alright, so we finally wrapped up the exciting round of 16. This was the first time we saw a tiebreaker take place. So for the quarterfinals on the winner's bracket, we have Japan versus Germany, Italy versus Korea, the United States versus the United Kingdom, and Taiwan versus France. These are all four very exciting matches, quite frankly. I don't think that we could have made it more exciting even if we tried. I mean, Germany is one of the strongest teams, and is a team that even the USA fears. Italy has always been strong, and the US versus the UK, that's obviously going to be probably one of the most exciting matches of the weekend. So as far as that goes, it's going to be fantastic. Yeah, exactly.
And then down in the losers bracket, we've got a lot going on as well. Canada versus Russia, Malaysia versus Argentina, Mexico and Chile, New Zealand, Norway, Indonesia, Brazil, Finland, Czechia, Spain, China, and Poland against the Philippines. So lots going on there, and I believe that we're getting to a stage now where there will be 2 matches in the losers bracket for the teams that do win their first match. So yeah, very action-packed and a lot going on. And
I will say, from the personal perspective of a Mexican American, this is, I think, the furthest that Mexico has ever gotten in TWC since they debuted a few years ago. So that's really exciting for me. I do have my money on the United States because I believe that this is the year they podium, especially if they beat the UK like they should. But I was really happy to see the Mexican team finally move to the quarterfinals. I think next week is going to be just absolutely fantastic as regards to what we have for TWC.
Yeah, you're putting your money on the United States. I'm putting my money on our amazing banners that we sell for $2.50 US cents in the OSU store, which you can use to support any of the teams that have made it through the qualifier stage, all 32 of them, even if they've already been knocked out. So go ahead and show your love for your favorite country.
That was such a good transition, Teasel. I think Janitor would be really proud.
Thank you.
I think that he would really understand how perfect and seamless of a transition that is. That was amazing.
But yeah, for our final sort of stream for this weekend, we will be having the semi-finals showcase. No, quarter-final showcase.
There you go.
In half an hour, so at 19 UTC. So yeah, that was definitely one to keep a lookout for, especially if you're part of a team that is still participating. So until then, that will be us, I think. Well, you'll be around. I don't know about myself.
I will be back for the quarterfinal showcase, as that is a pool that I curated from the beginning. So I will be back. Teasel will see you guys next week. And I'll let him wrap it up. I have one other thing to add, but I'll always put it at the end. Go ahead, Teasel. Take it away, buddy.
Alright, yeah, so thank you very much for watching this weekend, and of course, that qualifier show, oh my days, man. That quarter-final showcase is in only half an hour, so we'll be taking a short break, but we'll be back in no time.
Yes, and as always, be good people. We will see you guys in literally 27 minutes.
When I feel down, I try not to forget and look around. It's a beautiful place. It's not always easy living in this world, but I know it's up to me, and I am never giving up. I swear I'll hold on. It's a beautiful place. Dynamite, yo, rip up the bass.
Forced.